I've been asked before and have asked myself how you can be a philosopher, how you can get into philosophy, what philosophy even is. And many times I've thought to myself that if I wanted to be a philosopher, I needed to write books, I needed to write essays, I need to produce these like external things that show I'm a philosopher. But philosophy has nothing to do with what you produce. Philosophy itself is the act of questioning the world around you and developing your own way of seeing the world. It's using your consciousness to develop ideas of what it means to be human, of what morality is, of what the meaning of life is. Once you start questioning the things we take for granted, like why you're alive, like what happens after you die, that is the moment that you start to become a philosopher. I'm not going to say that that's the moment you become a philosopher, because being a philosopher consists of multiple things. It consists not only of you thinking and developing your own ideas, but it also consists of you applying those very ideas. That's a very important detail that I don't want you to miss, because when you think of these people like Marcus Aurelius, like the great philosophers, the great Stoics, we think of them as great because they applied their work. They're the living example of their philosophy. Imagine we took Marcus Aurelius and we changed nothing of his work. His meditations is the exact same, but the only difference is that we change his life so that he doesn't apply that knowledge, so that he only writes it but never actually uses it. Imagine how different we would think of him if that were the case. Or with Nietzsche. Imagine if Nietzsche made that philosophy of overcoming the self, and then we come to find that he didn't even apply it. That he got like emotional very often, that he was an angry man, that he didn't really control himself. Imagine how that would change our perspective of this philosopher. Imagine what we would then be saying. We would no longer be saying that he's the greatest, that this is super intelligent philosopher. We'd be saying, damn, he's a fraud. Applying the philosophy is just as important as creating the philosophy. So, in order to be a philosopher, you need to, number one, meditate. And I don't mean like meditate as in sit down and focus on the breath for 5 minutes. I mean meditate as in think. Think about the nature of things. Think about what it means to be human, about morality, about who you would like to become, about whether or not religion is real or not, whether there's a God or not, how humans ought to conduct themselves, things along those lines, things relating to human nature, to human thought, to our beliefs, to our morality, to our political system, to how humans ought to structure their politics. And then once you develop those ideas, put them into action. Live your life according to that philosophy. I have a philosophy of living like a primitive man. I believe that humanity should live in nature, live with nature, and that trying to like focus on technology, like make all this progress, is detaching us from nature. And that's why we're so sad and depressed all the time. That's why we have less fulfilling lives now than we did when we were just cavemen. And so I align my life as best I can to this philosophy. I only eat regional foods that grow in America. I consider where I'm from, where my parents are from. We come from South America. My father's side is Puerto Rican. So I eat foods from the Americas. I eat only whole foods. I try to eat somewhat in season. My habits align with my philosophy, and that's what makes me a philosopher. But if I have the idea and I don't put it into action, or vice versa, if I have the actions, I'm following my daily routine that I've made up, but there's no philosophy behind it, there's no ideas of my own that I've developed, then I'm not a philosopher. I can be a philosopher. I have not decided for myself what I want to do with my life, what I believe in, and I am not following those beliefs. So simply put, you're a philosopher when you act with intention, when you question the world around you, you develop your own ideas, and you act on those ideas. That is when you become a philosopher. It's not about the habits, it's not about the work you produce. If you make essays, okay, fine. If you journal to help you philosophize, fine. You can meditate as well. This time, yes, I am referring to the breathing practices. But if those don't help you, if you don't need to journal to philosophize, if you find that you actually are more effective developing ideas when you don't journal, you're still a philosopher. It doesn't make you less of a thinker, less of a philosopher. It's just that you have a different method of philosophizing. That's going to be all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you thought, what you agree with, what you disagree with. I have my Medium page in the description where I post political and philosophical content. So if you're interested in topics like that, please check that link. It's at the top of the description. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, because this video is getting posted on a Sunday. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.